Now, there's an old relationship adage that says don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics, and don't talk about money in your love life, in your relationship. Why? Because these are hot burner issues. These are issues that can get emotions flaring. I mean, you all know what it's like when there's a political argument here. Two people could have been good friends just 5 minutes before this argument started, but because they hold opposing political views, you see them fuming at each other and everybody trying to prove that, hey, my point is correct, my candidate is the right one, you know? So they tell you avoid politics, avoid religion, and avoid money. Okay? But to a very large extent, that advice is not a good one, because the truth is you're going to live with somebody in marriage for the rest of your life as the Lord keeps you both alive, you know. So how do you want to successfully avoid these conversations? And these are the things you're going to be dealing with in your everyday life. You see, so yes, in as much as those topics can be really hot, yeah, it's important you start having the hot conversations even before you get into marriage. All right, so that you people understand what your real dispositions are to these very critical topics. Okay, I'm saying this because there are people who are trying to get married and have never had a conversation about finances. All the guy does is he tells the lady, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Have you lacked anything since we started dating? How can you be asking me about money? What's wrong with you? Why do you want to know what I'm earning? You know, is there anything you needed I did not provide? You know, so it's a sensitive area typically. And then there's some ladies who really don't even mind. They don't want to know. All they care is he buys me this, he buys me that, he's there to provide for me, you know. So there are many things around this. Oh, what about the school of thought? You know, those who believe that women are not supposed to be financially empowered, so they should depend on their husband. And then imagine somebody who's having that kind of belief system going after a lady who he met while he was doing his master's degree, and she too was doing her master's program. So in other words, this is somebody who is aware, who is enlightened, who has ambition, who has plans, who has vision, right? Now you meet her in that state, and rather at that stage of her life, and then you are hoping that when you get married, she should not do anything because she has married you now. You see, there are different mindsets people have when it has to do with marriage and finances. And that is why it's very, very important that you talk about it. You cannot run away from the finance conversation. In fact, it is that discussion, is that conversation that will help you guys know if you're on the same page or not when it's got to do with money. All right. So the thing about money is that we all have our different opinions. We all have our different opinions. And generally, you know, it is said that the first school of life, the first university of marriage that every individual attends is the university of dad and mom. All right. It's what you see your parents do. It's how you saw your parents handle finances that forms an idea, or forms the first programming in your mind of how couples should relate with finances. You get that, right? So, just take for example a young lady who grew up seeing her mother always have to hide her personal money so that the husband will not know that she has money, and then she will go asking the husband to pay for this, pay for this, pay for this, pay for that. The girl is watching it, is witnessing it. Sometimes the mother calls the girl and says, "You're going to ask your daddy for this," you know, or she inflates the market list so that she can get a lot of money to keep aside, you know, for whatever reasons. Now, just imagine that is how this young girl is growing up in her parents' home. She's learning something subconsciously. It's forming an idea in her heart, in her mind, of how a woman should behave with her husband financially. All right. And then, of course, with all of those things will come the fact that the mother sometimes will be giving her ideas. He should not know I have this money. Let him bring money. And the girl is wondering, but Mom, what about the other money you kept it? No, don't talk about it. I don't want your daddy to hear. No, that one is for us. That's for me. I have to take care of you. And then in case anything happens, I need to have, you know, all of these ideas. What am I saying basically? The things that form the basic ideas people have about marriage and about finances in marriage many times forms or derives from what they observed in their parents' home. Okay. And then as they begin to walk through life, depending on the level of exposure they had with money, that also begins to form other belief systems and other habits and other patterns in their relationship with money. All right. So the thing about this is that by the time people form those opinions, they hold on to those opinions very dearly. It becomes habits. They hold on to them very dearly. All right. Imagine somebody who really never saw money in his life. was always at the needing end, at the begging, and then luckily at maybe university level, he starts getting access to funds, and then now he's very apprehensive. He feels like everything is going, everybody is trying to take my money. So now he wasn't used to having money, all right, and now he's seeing money, but then he's scared because he feels like everybody's after his money, and then he doesn't know how to handle it, and then he soon falls in love. Okay, and he doesn't know that he's supposed to provide and take care of the lady with whom he says he's in love with. Do you understand? So I'm just establishing that to a very large extent, your upbringing, your growing up, your experiences from your home front, all right, to a large extent affect your disposition about money. And if you're not flexible enough as you're growing through life to now to interrogate some of the things you have believed, to see if it's acceptable, if it's workable, if it will help your relationship to work, right? If you don't interrogate some of those beliefs, what will happen is you'll get into a relationship to a partner, to a person who has a different set of beliefs, of course, from their own different experiences and upbringing, right? And if you guys are not able to discuss and find common grounds, you will discover that no matter how attracted you are to that beautiful body, no matter how you guys tend to vibe, when it comes to money, you will always quarrel. There would always be sharp disagreements, and before you know it, it can degenerate into conflict. I'm sure you're with me so far. Okay, so let me see some of the points I wrote so that I just don't talk away the full time. All right. So yeah, there's a point I wrote there. So the importance of these conversations is that if you have concerns about certain disposition your partner has towards money or towards spending or their concept and belief system about money, if you observe that, man, I'm not cool with this thing, then it's important that you raise those concerns in your conversation. Let me tell you many things that people do. They see things that are wrong. They see things that they are not cool with, but because in their mind, I just want to get married. I don't want anything to spoil my journey of marriage. I said that, God, this year, 2024, before the end of Q1, I will marry, So I don't want, you see all the red flags, but you tell yourself, never, nothing. In fact, you begin to come against the red flags. Listen to me and listen good. Some of you are binding the Holy Spirit. You are binding the voice of God that is telling you this relationship is not for you. You know what? You say, Lord, keep your voice to yourself right now. Make this relationship, I pray in the name of Jesus, make this relationship, or you're telling God that is leading you. You're praying for him to lead you, but now he's leading you, and then you're rebuking his voice simply because you have told yourself, this is the year it must happen. And then to make matters worse, if you're in Nigeria or Africa, I mean, they've been peppering single people this year. I think Moses Bliss started it. Put pepper, spray pepper everywhere. Single people could not have it. Before you know now, who was the other one now that proposed? Theophilus Sunday is the most recent one. King James proposed. And he's one of these people, hot, sharp wives. You understand? Sharp babes. So single people now, more pressure. So if you're that person saying, that this 2024, before June, I must mind. See, what I'm telling you is, take it easy and pay attention to these fundamental things. If there are things you're not comfortable with, please have the conversations. And if you're having the conversation and then it is now always a heated conversation, or your partner is not receiving it well, then again, that is another escalated red flag. The first one was a red flag. This one now is red flag to power 2, because it means that this area is going to be very sensitive. And if you guys are quarreling about it at this beginning stage of your relationship, where you're still at honeymoon level, butterfly in your tummy all the time, right? And you can be quarreling about this matter. Think of what will happen when you are now fully into the marriage. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, if you're uncomfortable about any area of your partner's money habits, it's important that you have an honest, in-depth conversation with them. All right? Basically, I discovered I didn't even define the subject matter. I just started talking. Like we discussed about compatibility all the while. Compatibility does not necessarily mean that you are similar. It does not necessarily mean that you have the same ideas. What it basically means is that both of you can work together. So even if you don't have the same disposition, what matters is that one or both of you are amenable to adjustment, are amenable to change. It's easy for you guys to get along together. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's one dimension of it. Of course, the other one is the fact that both of you see the same thing, you understand it the same way, you're disposed to it the same way. But I'm adding that even if that's not the case, is one person amenable to change? Is one person ready to adjust? Is one person teachable? All right. Are you guys willing to do what it takes to meet at the middle ground? Do you understand what I'm saying, right? So the same thing applies to financial compatibility. So basically, what we're saying about financial compatibility is, are you and your partner on the same page about money? Are you on the same page? And then even if you're not yet on the same page, are you agreeable? Is it easy for you to adjust your belief and catch up with your partners? Is it easy for your partner to adjust their beliefs and catch up with you? All right. So are you on the same page? Do you have the same ideas, or do you agree about the same things financially? All right. It's not about making the same amount of money. Do you understand? We're not saying that both of you must be working in the same kind of sector or making the same kind of money. No, we're not even saying necessarily that both of you must be earning money, because there are real life cases where it's just one partner who's working and the other isn't working. Okay, you still have to have the same mindset and the same disposition to money. So let me move ahead very quickly. I mentioned something at the beginning that there's some mindsets that you need to do away with. One is the fact that it's only the man that should make money. Please stop that thing. If you're still thinking like that, you have to stop it. All right, you have to stop it. We have very smart women. The number of female bank MDs in Nigeria are increasing. Are you noticing it? Are you noticing that? All right, and it's a global thing, because the world over, institutions want to also show gender inclusion. They want to show that, if a man can do it, why can't a woman do it? So my point is that women are also very, very well economically empowered. All right. They're smart. In fact, they're some of our bosses in the office, So point is, you can't be thinking in this day and age that it is only the man who should make money. If you are thinking like that, that is a potential crisis point too. And God help you that you're making a lot of money already as the man, all right? But it's not even you I'm concerned about. I wanted to say it's the unfortunate woman that will go and fall into your trap, all right? And why did I say unfortunate? Because it's a basis for control, it's a basis for abuse, it's a basis for manipulation, where one partner is not economically empowered, or where one partner insists that the other one should not be economically empowered. You see, that is abuse, that is control, that is manipulation, and all of these things will not help that relationship, and as a matter of fact will be detrimental to the mental health of the one who is being abused. Okay, so it's important that both of you should earn. I just wanted to establish. So do away with that old thinking that it's only the man that should earn money. No, it's not only the man. All right, women, please, they should earn. They are equally as smart, if not smarter than us guys. All right, yeah, and then there's the other saying that it's only the man who should take the financial decisions. No, that is also wrong. All right, there are people who just believe that the woman should be at the mercy of the man. It is what he says that is final. No, that's not the case. See, in marriage, you guys are partners. You guys are partners. One of these days, I'll talk about love and submission, and then I'll try to give perspective to what submission means in marriage. You guys are partners. Do you understand? There's no subjugation in marriage. It's not Lord and servant relationship. No, you're partners. You're partners. Yes, there is hierarchy as established by God. The husband is the leader of the home and then the wife. Yes, but that leadership is about responsibility. It's not about position. It's not about lording it over. As a matter of fact, Jesus even explained that when he speaks about leadership, when in the kingdom, when you talk about leadership, it's not about, it's not about lording, it's not about position. It's about service. All right. So when we say that the man is the head of the home, the husband is the head of the home. All right. It's about service. It's about responsibility. You are the chief responsibility officer. You are the chief service officer. The Bible says a good shepherd will lay down his life for the flock. So what that means is that if he sets and there's the need for somebody to go down, it is the man that will show up and say, "Yeah, man, take me on behalf of my family. Leave the family and take me." That's what it is. Yeah, you are the one who laid down your life for the family. So we're not talking position, we're not talking about something to raise shoulders for. We're talking about responsibility, and very serious one at that. Okay, yes, that is established. Howbeit, in marriage, both of you are supposed to complement each other, draw on your resources together, towards a family vision, so that you can together attack the matters of marriage and achieve your goals in marriage. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please, that thinking that it's only the man who should make the financial decisions, there are cases where the men make very stupid decisions. And then such men many times are lucky that they have wives who are very prudent. In cases like that, the man should be able to defer to the wife to take some of those decisions, should defer to the wife on matters of financial management. Basically what we teach is that let the better person at managing finance be responsible for the finances. As for decision making, both of you have to discuss. You have to always discuss and be on the same page and agree on what we're doing. You need to have a goal, you need to have a vision, you need to have a plan, you need to have a budget. All right? Yes, those are the things you need to work with. Don't just assume after all I'm in charge here. I take the decisions, I do what I want. No, sir, it doesn't work that way. All right? You shouldn't be thinking like that in this age and time. Okay, let me move on very quickly. All right, so both of you need to be open to talk about finances. You need to be able to talk about it boldly and freely. Talk about it. Talk about what your concerns are. Talk about what your plans are. Talk about everything finance and be on the same page. All right. If it is difficult for you guys to align in the stage of relationship, then know that it will even be difficult if you decide to go ahead and get married with that. All right. So compatibility is about how well you guys can align, how well you guys can work together financially. Let me go ahead and talk about how you can check financial compatibility. If I have time, I'll get into financial red flags, but if not, I think I have about 15 points to share here, so let me go about them very quickly. You have to start by having conversations. That's what it is. It's conversations. You have to talk. You have to ask questions. Do you understand? You have to ask questions. And what are these questions? You want to talk about, one, how was family handled? How was money handled in your family of origin? How was money handled? What were the principles underlying financial management in the home? You guys need to talk about it. You want to ask each other. You talk about your own side. You talk about your own side. This one says, well, in my home, my father did everything. My mother wasn't working. She had to depend on my father. The other one says, oh, in my home, we didn't even have a father by the time I was age 5. So my mother did everything by herself. This was her disposition to money. This is what she said. She believed in this. She believed in that. You guys need to discuss. When you start having these conversations, you will see how fundamentally you guys may be on completely different wavelengths about money because of the kind of experience and programming that you have received. Do you understand? So it's very important. How was money handled in your home? How was it discussed? How do you portray money matters in your home? Don't talk about it. All right? Talk about it at length. Don't just brush over it. Talk about it. Ask questions. Probe. Get deep into it. Who managed money? Who was the better financial manager? Who was the spender? Who was the saver? All right, let me go on. All right, so you want to talk about, besides what happened in your home, now you want to ask yourselves, are you okay with the man and the woman working to earn money? Or should only the man be the one to work and the woman chill and depend on the man? You want to talk about that. You want to find out what your belief systems are. If you're a lady who believes that you have to work, you have to support your husband, and then you're dating a guy who tells you, no, work, okay, never. I don't want my woman to have anything to do with work anywhere. Men, there's some men like that, really, who tell you, I don't want my woman answering yes, sir, to anybody. She stays in the house, all right? Even though many times I argue that there are other reasons that they're just masquerading in the name of I don't want her to say yes, sir. There are other concerns that they have. But let's leave that till we catch them and discuss with them, right? So you want to be sure that he's disposed to you as a lady working. So you want to ask yourself, who should earn? Just you? Just me? Both of us? Do you understand? You want to discuss that. Okay. Point number 3. You want to discuss how you're going to what your disposition, what your mindset is about joint accounting. All right. So should we have joint accounts or should we have separate accounts? All right. How are we going to finance family goals? How are we going to finance recurrent expenses? You want to discuss about that? Okay. There are some people who tell you as a couple, you must have joint accounts. You must. It shows that you are joint. It's very good. It's actually very good. It's a very good advice. But it is not what will determine whether or not your financial life will work. Okay. So yes, it's good advice, but what we emphasize the most beyond having joint accounts is joint accountability. In other words, both of us are very well aware of what is coming in, both of us have a plan for our marriage and for the year and for the house and for our expenses. From what we receive, we apportion the agreed amounts which we have budgeted, okay, to the different needs. We don't indulge in impulse buying, and so by the time there is that level of openness and accountability, see, the truth is, even if you have individual accounts, you can still be united in your financial management as a couple. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you prefer, or if you think that the only way to work is for you guys to have a joint account from where you administer all of your finances, then that's also good and fine. I know people who have multiple joint accounts for everything, okay? And then I know people who have joint accounts for certain things, maybe projects, maybe kingdom giving, maybe benevolence, maybe family upkeep. Do you understand? So that it doesn't look like it's coming from one person's account, rather it's coming from me and my wife's accounts. Do you understand? So that's another way people can do it. You can have joint accounts for some purposes, all right, while you still have the liberty to maintain your individual accounts. So the main thing is that there is openness and there is accountability right there. I hope you guys are with me so far. So you want to discuss that. You want to know what you guys think about any of these concepts. What if one person insists that I can never have a joint account? For what? What if the other insists that no, it has to be a joint account or not? In fact, all our individual accounts, we collapse them into the joint account. Everything now is cemented between me and you. There is no separation. It must join together. What if? So you guys have to discuss. You need to find middle grounds. All right. So, all right. Then you also want to talk about short-term and long-term financial goals. Oh yeah. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about it? What are you thinking of in the immediate? What are you thinking of in the medium term? What are you thinking of in the long term? You want to talk about it. Surprisingly, there are some couple that when they get to this conversation, you just discover that brother was not thinking of anything long-term. He was actually living life as it comes. So by the time you're asking him about your plan for the next 5 years, he's like, yeah, I'll still be working now. We'll be in the same house. You suffer 3 hours traffic every day to work and back. He's not even thinking of anything like that. Conversations like this can actually now open the person's mind to even say, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's not bad thinking that at some point I should own myself a home. Okay. And then you put that for maybe a long-term or a medium-term plan, depending on your earning. You see, but it's important that you guys talk about it. Do you have medium-term plans? Do you have long-term plans? If your medium and long-term plans are all full of expenses and liability acquisition, then you can see already that that is an area where you guys need a financial coach, or you need to talk to a counselor, who can help you, to properly model your financial plan. Or if one partner is smart enough to coordinate that conversation, then you need to anchor that conversation and help to redirect. Just imagine that all that somebody is thinking of is that, by next year, I want to be using the latest iPhone, 1 terabyte, the latest one. Then, because I like to use iOS and Android, so as I upgrade to the latest iPhone, I will also upgrade my Samsung to the latest Samsung. All right. And with the way we are going now, you know that these phones I'm talking about, as of now, each of them is at least 1.5 million first. And this is somebody who, by the time you join all his salary and everything is earning together, maybe it's 800,000 in a month. And he's telling you that he wants to own these 2 phones. And he's living in Nigeria where there's no credit financing. You have to pay. If you will own it, you will pay full price. All right. How are you planning to get this money? So he's probably going to start saving to acquire liabilities in the future. You see that that's already a problematic thinking. And there are people who legit think like this. Oh, I remember way back in the years, people earning approximately 200K or thereabout will be saving up to buy a phone of 600,000, or even take loan from bank to buy a phone of 600,000. Phone that if the screen crack today, you will almost take your life because you have tied your full life to that phone and you cannot even afford the money to repair it. You understand? That's not a sound way of thinking financially. So you want to check your medium and long-term plans. Are they full of liabilities? I want to change my car next year. Oh, very good. But is that car bringing in money for you? Are your plans pointing in any way towards financial stability of yourself and your family? I want to go on vacation because everybody in your office is saying, oh, the other day when I was in Paris, oh, it's such a beautiful place. The other one says, oh, yeah, we spent the holiday in the UK. The other one says, oh, yeah, I was in Toronto. The other one says, and then you just say, I cannot be left out. I must travel. Travel, yes, it's my plan for the year. Calm down. Calm down. You want to check your resources. You want to check your long-term and medium-term plans. If you continue like this, in the times we are in now, I mean, you know what local travel tickets are, not to talk of international travel. It's very expensive. All right? So you want to plan, you want to check. If I'm spending this kind of money on pleasure, on enjoyment, on acquiring liabilities, you will suffer for it in the future. The Bible says that the person that loves enjoyment and pleasure, let me look for the exact quotation in Proverbs. The Bible says such a person will grow poor. Oh, yes. I'll look for it if in the course of this session, and I'll give you the exact quote. Give me a second. Let me just see if I can find it. The exact quote just jumped off my head, so I'll look for it. So you want to check what you're displaying. I've seen it. Proverbs 21 verse 17. He who loves pleasure will be a poor man. And he who loves wine and oil, enjoyment, spending money, celebrate, the Bible says he will not be rich. Why? Because you have to be able to think about your future. That was from Proverbs 21 verse 17. You want to be able to think about the future. You want to be able to have securities, to have financial securities and investments that can generate funds for you when the need arises. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's important that you're checking what your short-term, medium-term, and long-term financial goals are. And those goals have to be geared towards acquiring financial stability and financial freedom, and not just living yourself a flashy and enjoyable life. Meanwhile, your future is being shortchanged by all this enjoyment. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you want to have that kind of conversation with your guy. So imagine that you're this lady who you have really suffered in life. Now the Lord is trying to lift you up. You have a good job. You're planning how that in the next 5 years, you should not be struggling like this anymore. And then you are dating this guy who just believes that spend the money right now. Let's go to the most expensive restaurants every weekend. We must hang out. And this hangout I'm talking about is where you're spending serious money. Okay, so this is the kind of person who receives his salary on Friday, and by Monday morning he's telling somebody, I bet just borrow me 30K for fuel for this month. You know that happens, right? Because over the weekend, Baba has blown this money. He has lived the life. It's all about the money. Do you understand? So we have spent this money, and then now he's asking for loan. There are some people that will go and park near filling station and do like their car breakdown, so that they will just be waiting in case there's somebody that they know that will pass, or somebody that looks responsible and looks gentle. Then they might walk up to you, excuse me, sir, 1 minute, please. If you don't mind, can you I forgot my wallet in the house. I forgot my card in the house. Can you just help me? 2 liters, sir. Just so that I can just take my car to the story. They are broke. Broke, only broke. You see, so you don't want to be like that. You want to plan. You want to discuss your immediate term, that's your short term, your medium term, and your long term goals. So when I'm talking short term, I'm talking 6 months to 1 year. When we're talking medium term, we're talking 3 years to 5 years. When we're talking long term, of course, beyond 5 years. You want to have those plans, and you guys want to discuss it. You see, the good thing about having this kind of conversation or learning these things that I'm talking about is that by the time you go and anchor this conversation with your partner, that may actually be the first time in their life that they are having these critical thoughts. Oh yes, I've seen this severally in counseling. There are some people, until you ask them this question, that will be the first time that they will be thinking about this, and then they now want to start conceptualizing and planning. Let me take this comment from my finance guru, Finance Meg. All right. I also think that we should really be patient with our partners, especially if you're the one that has all the knowledge about finances. Yes, when you see that they are not receptive to the corrections, then you can really use the door. Exactly. Thank you so much for that point. Yeah. So she's emphasizing there the need for patience. Yeah, you might be the all sorted out guy. You're prudent. You have structure to your finances, but your partner may be the careless one, right? You want to be patient enough while you're having these conversations. And again, it's why it's important. Take note that we have been talking about conversations. All right, you guys are still in the dating or courtship stage, all right, you should be having conversations. Don't be kissing and using romance to confuse your emotions. All right. So it's important that you're having these conversations. And then, like she said right there, be patient with the other partner. But when you notice that they are not receptive to correct at all, they don't want to hear, they don't believe in what you're saying, they cannot receive it. In fact, they think you're disturbing them, you're just disturbing, there's a kind of resistance you see that somebody is having to wisdom and to knowledge that you will leave them alone. Oh, yes. All right, so thank you very much for that contribution there. Let me move on. I said I had 15 points. I've touched only 4. How much time do I have? Okay, I have about 20 minutes. Okay, let's get to it. So point number 5, you want to discuss about expenses and budgeting. Budgeting is one thing that many people don't do. They just spend as it comes. You have to talk budgeting. And when you're talking budgeting, you're not just thinking about how the money goes. In budgeting, you're also thinking about expenses vis-a-vis income. All right, so it's not just that, okay, I have 200,000 from my salary every month, and then I will share this 200,000 into all my needs and wants so that before it's finished, the next 200,000 can come. In budgeting, you're not just thinking about that expense, you're also going to ask yourself, what can I do to increase my income? All right, is this 200K sufficient to give me the kind of life that I desire? If no, what can I do legitimately that can increase the income? So you want to think about that. So you can be a banker by day, and by night you are doing research work for people. You're doing one, what do you call this? What am I trying to say now? You're working remotely for someone else, designing maybe logos for them, or there's several services you can render offline when you're not on your job. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're telling yourself, I have to find other legitimate ways to increase my income so that I can live the kind of life that I desire for myself. So you guys want to talk about your expenses. You want to talk about budgeting. All right. You want to talk about how you can increase your sources of income. Very important. Very, very important. Okay. Expenses, sometimes you don't even need to talk about it. You just need to observe each other's lifestyle. And you can tell exactly what this person's spending priorities are. All right. By just observing. I mean, you guys have hung out for the past maybe 2 months. You will observe, you would have seen where money goes to. Because let me tell you the truth, one way to know people's financial behavior is when salary just comes, when a windfall just comes, when money just enters their hand, you will see their real behavior. That's when you will know what their real desires are. Go and check the kind of things they're looking at. They're scrolling through on Instagram. Go and check the shops. Go and check the places where they're doing window shopping. You will know what their real financial desire is. Do you understand? Yeah. So you want to talk about that. If you can get this for a cheaper amount, why do you want to go for the more expensive one? What is the appeal to you? Do you understand? Especially when that one is way more expensive and is not sustainable considering your level of income right now. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. These things are serious conversations. When you overlook all of these things, you get into the marriage, and then you are just both living out your different financial dispositions, but guess what? You're going to have conflict. And because you didn't have the conversation at that time, by the time you're having it inside marriage, more often than not, one person is trying to impose their own thought on the other. More often than not, one person is having the conversation in a way that will trigger annoyance in the partner. Because you're going to be having the conversation from a place of irritation and annoyance and offense. Hey, look at the money we got the other day. We were saying that we're going to pay school fees from there. We're going to do this. You've already spent it. Why didn't you ask me? Did you need to change the tires of the car? Why you don't change tires? Why did you buy brand new tires? Look at the kind of tires you bought. You're already offended. You come at your man like that, he's going to return the energy to you. He's going to get defensive. He doesn't want to be challenged or confronted like that. Do you understand? So, more often than not, when people don't have these conversations before they get married, they get into the marriage, they are irritated by the things they see, and then they take the conversation, they host the conversation from that place of offense, and at that time, both you and your partner are not in the right frame of mind to respond to each other, and then it can just degenerate to conflict. All right? So let me move on. One very important thing, point number 6, one very important conversation you people want to have is your past financial mistakes. You ask yourselves, tell me something that you did sometime in the past that you consider was a big financial mistake? Like, what's that thing that you have done that you told yourself, oh my God, I was just a big fool? How could I? Do you understand? You want to talk about those things. It's in your past, so you should be able to laugh about it now. No matter how it pains you, you should have things that you can talk about. Oh my, I can talk about certain things. All right. I've lost money. I've done some stupid things. I've taken some stupid chances. Do you understand? You want to be able to talk about it. You want to share with your partner. Man, I remember, maybe you're asking your partner, you're saying, okay, what's that past financial mistake that you wish never happened, all right, and that if you have your way, nobody will ever hear about it, and then this person tells you how that you won't believe I was going to work one day, and there are these guys who were with me in the taxi, and then they told me that there's this chemical they can use it to wash money, but they just need like 200,000. And that day all I had was 120,000. You won't believe it. I actually went to the bank to go and withdraw that money and gave them, you fell for one day, you laugh about it. But hey, you want to talk about it. Why do you want to talk about it? Because many times it's a pointer to what could be. All right, what do I mean by that? It's possible that there was a fundamental greed that made you to fall for that scam. Yeah, there's something you're looking for. There's this, and you just believe that, sharp. You may still be having that root problem there, you're thinking. So from talking about it, you may now be able to, come face to face with what the real issues are. And then you're telling your partner that, we just have to be content. All right. We don't need to fall for these kind of things next time. And they show up in different ways. And then you start sharing how, I heard of somebody who this happened to them. And then you see what's happening is that you're having an empowering conversation. Tomorrow, when you see anybody that tells you, I will wash money, you tell the person, can't get off here. You want to catch Mugu. It's not me. Why? Because now you're strengthened. You see, you have spoken about it. You see, what happens many times is many people do stupid things. They keep it to themselves. They don't talk about it to anybody. Tomorrow they see another opportunity. They will fall into the same stupid thing. And then they cannot talk about it. They're holding on to it. They have not learned how to overcome it. Oh, what am I talking about? That is the same reason why many people are dating useless people. Your first relationship, very useless. It's failed. The second one, very useless. The third one, and you're not discussing with anybody. You're not taking time to interrogate what has happened in this relationship. Why are you making the same mistakes over and over again? You see, the same thing applies to finances. When you can talk about those past financial mistakes, you will be amazed the level of learning, wisdom, and empowerment that you will receive. And next time you will not fall for that mistake. Oh, there was a time when Ponzi's were at an all-time high, and the chief of them was the MMM. Do you understand? And then everybody was saying, give help, get help. People started borrowing money to give help and get help. People started, selling off assets so that, sharp. How many days was it that time? And then, as usual, it crashed. If you have not been able to share your MMM story, you have not healed from it. you need to heal and accept your foolishness, and then open up to your partner and say, I was a big fool. Yes, there was foolishness in my head that time. You need to be able to heal from it and talk about it. Do you understand? At that period of MMM, there were all kinds of names. There were C format. Boys are not playing. C format. And guess what? One they crash today, another one they open tomorrow. People are still transferring money and entering this side. So if you have not been able to talk about those mistakes, you're not yet truly vulnerable for your partner or to your partner. So you guys want to talk about your past financial mistakes. It's very important. Part of the reasons you even need to talk about it is that at the moment, you may even yet be reaping some of the repercussions of that mistake. So just imagine that you fell for a fraud or a scam or something, and you lost a lot of money that you are still paying back, and you're going to be repaying this loan for the next 3 years, and it's taking about 40% from your salary. Your partner needs to be aware. It's not when you marry now, they'll be wondering, but you say you're earning 500,000. We don't see the money in this house. And I say, actually, from that 500, 378 is going to service debt. Come on. That's not the point your wife wants to be hearing that kind of thing. She's going to be very disappointed and she may not even believe you. Which kind of is a lie? Where is that place you are putting your money? Come and explain. Do you understand? Someone says that useless MMM crashed on the morning of my birthday that year. You know, it was crazy. You know, even after MMM crashed, people are still having hope. He go come back. He go come back. He go come back. Oh, have you heard that adage that says "It go soon land, it go soon land"? That's so, but people they pursue butterfly enter bush. It go soon land, it go soon land. They pursue him. They don't enter bush. You see the pursue. It go soon land, it go soon land. That was MMM. All right. Thank you for sharing, my dear friend. And then yeah, of course, Finance Meg is commiserating with you. All right, I share in that pain. I hope your money was not there. Let it just be that it crashed on your birthday, not that you were expecting cash out and wahala bust. Do you understand? But you need to be able to talk about it. Do you understand? Talk about it. Laugh at yourself. Agree, say, I not try. I make mistake. Just agree. You're still alive now. Do you understand? You survived it. So talk about it. You want to be able to talk about it. And then, you know, this topic alone, it can take you to places where you would not even believe that, oh my God, I really did this thing 10 years ago. I remember when I got on a bus and I traveled to so place just because somebody promised me that if you come, I will give you this amount. Only for me to reach there, the person's phone was off. Oh my God. And then you laugh about it. But the point, don't forget what I said earlier. You want to check what was the thinking, what was the driving force that made you to fall for that? Have you grown above it? Would you overcome it if it shows up again, or would you fall again next tomorrow? All right. That's why you need to be able to talk about it. So that was point number 6 about your past financial mistakes. It looks like I definitely can finish this thing, but let me go ahead. Point number 7. Okay, you want to talk about your current and your desired financial investments. Yeah, Amanda says financial transparency is very key. Oh yes, we cannot overemphasize that point. It's very, very key. All right. You want to talk about your current and your future, and your desired future investments. Okay. At the moment, do you have anything? You know what an investment is, right? Basically some money that you're putting away that can generate more money for you in the future. If you're putting away money somewhere and it is not creating value that will be more, I don't say profitable, and it's not more valuable for you in the future, it's not an investment too. It's not an investment. Maybe it's in savings, because there's some kind of savings we know they get interest. All right, or that the interest, by the time you're ready to use that saving, inflation has overtaken that interest like 5 times, and at the end of the day, the money is not very useful to you. So we're talking about instruments that you have put money in that the value you will get from it is higher than the inflation rate when you're ready to use it. Let me put it like that. So do you have any of such things right now? Do you have any investment right now? Have you bought stocks? Have you bought shares in any company? All right. Do you know when the government is floating bonds and all of those things? Actually, I should have a day where I talk about financial intelligence. You know, there are a number of people I can even invite. And thank God Finance Meg is here. Maybe we'll talk about that. All right. So, you want to know about these things. There are some people that are talking about stocks and shares. They're looking at what's that? They say, no, my husband, let him do all those things. So me, I don't want to know about those. You know, you need to know, sister. You need to know about it. So right now, do you have any investments? Do you have land? Have you bought land? When you receive that big money, what are you doing with it? You don't want to go and shop your shopping cart. You have been saving that card since and checking, hey, this one is stuck out, so you replace it, you put another one. Now money has come. All right. And then you're saying, now all of those items have been put in my cart. Let me go and buy them. Or are you saying to yourself, I want to be able to buy myself land by by the time I'm so years. Before I'm married, I want to have myself 2 plots, you know, not because of anything, but no, I'm just using land, for example, right? Okay, Hadassah, you say stock, yeah, good. Land is just an example, but anything that can be a store of value. Some people buy gold. You need to know about how the gold, the commodities market work. All right, some people buy gold and jewelries. Do you understand? The point I'm saying is right now, as we are talking now, what investment do you have? if you don't have yet, what is your desired investment in the future? Are you saying that, man, once I start earning so kind of money, I'm going to be putting aside so amount of money every month so that by the end of the year, when it gets to this amount, I can take that, then I can buy stock, foreign stocks, for examples. My friend have told me about, an app or somehow a platform where you can buy stocks of the Fortune 500 companies. Do you understand? Are you having those kind of plans? Are you saying to yourself that, I need to, there's this Osusu we are doing. I want to join or have joined so that when it's my turn, the money I get from there, I'll just take it and buy half plot first in my village, or in this part of town. Are you having those kind of thoughts? You should be having those kind of thoughts. You should have those kind of thoughts. It's part of your financial maturity. You should have those kind of thoughts. It's not only spend the money. No. You should have those kind of thoughts. What are you setting aside for the future? What are you setting aside? There's a lot to say here. Let me move on. All right. So basically, by the time you're having this conversation with your partner, and you discover that both of you are in a position where no current investment and no idea about what to invest in the future, clearly you're telling yourselves that this is an area we need to now seek knowledge. We need to both learn about this together. And then you get finance coaches. There are people who do these things. There's Finance Meg here. There is Money Lessons Community by Ogochukwu Okolocha. You can look for any of these guys and then subscribe to their communities and then start learning. That is some babe say, spend money is my name. Yeah, you need to change sharp. Yes. Yes. I don't want to say it, but it's important. Do you understand? Yes, because you need to learn how to make enough so that it can cater for your spending and your future is not compromised. Do you understand? All right. So I talked about your current and your desired future investments. Then you also want to be open about what you have saved, what you have in your savings. Now, even if you don't want to talk about exact figures like, right now I've saved a total of 1.2 million. No, you might want to just be able to know that, okay, well, I have savings and I have savings that are running in up to 5 digits or 6 digits, you want to be able to be open. I'm talking about somebody that you're hoping to get married to. Do you understand? So it's important that there's vulnerability and there's openness. Okay, so you want to be able to talk about it. Okay, currently my savings, and then maybe you guys are even planning for your wedding. Do you understand? You're planning for a wedding by the end of the year or by first quarter next year. Oh, you guys need to talk about savings. How are we going to build up funds for the wedding? How much do we want to spend for the wedding? Don't go and be the kind of person that will borrow money from heaven and earth everywhere just to make impression. And then by the end of your wedding, you're owing 2.5 million left, right, center. When you should be having a nice time with your wife. You are receiving call from vendor. Ping, where my balance, I know the hotel that day. I go report to now. They'll be harassing you left and right. Do you understand? So you want to be open about your savings and your savings plans. All right. Let me read a comment from Hadassah. Okay, yeah, she's saying you want to check out Piggyvest, Cowrie, Wise, Bamboo. Yeah, there are a number of them. Also a digital product that has a lot of apps and the communities in a digital store. Oh, excellent. So that's how we can even talk a bit more about this. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that is something exactly see connections happening here. Hadassah says, please, small wedding, 100 people is enough. So that is another thing. Don't you see this thing that Moses Bliss has done to singles now? People now be looking for me. I must shut down the area. Calm down. You're not Moses Bliss. You don't have the kind of money he has. Do you understand? Do the one that reach you. 100 people, 50. A friend of mine just got married recently. Okay, the real wedding is still in front. It's going to be a small wedding. Small. If they did not invite you, no verse. You will hear later. Yeah, that's the idea. Agree with your partner and keep it like that. All right? Small wedding within your means. You don't have to impress anybody. See, 10 years time when you don't blow, you can gather the full village and throw a party for them. No problem. But right now, you and your partner agree on what works for you. Don't put yourself under any kind of pressure. All right. So I said you have to be open. That was point number 8. Be open about how much money you have saved. Point number 9. Be open about your debt situation. Debt, D-E-B-T, what you call debt, but B is silent, so debt. All right. Are you owing? How much are you owing? When will you finish paying? Will they arrest you? Have they arrested you before because you are owing? John, so you want to talk about your debt situation? Yes. Yes. People get married and they don't know that their partner is in serious basic. You know what they call basic? And then you're already inside the marriage before you start finding out this thing. Why didn't you tell me? Say, why didn't you ask? So you guys want to discuss. Be open about that. Do you understand? I have a friend then who I remember, there was this lady he was in a relationship with. They were planning to get married. But they had this conversation and he told her, he said, see what my real concerns are. I'm in a financial mess right now. I really want to marry you, but from the way I have planned, I've structured my finances, I'll be done paying this my basic by so time. If you don't mind, let us plan that after I clear these things, we can get married. And they worked it out. Somehow they were able to get married. They even got married before the time that he had set. Do you understand? But somehow, because there was that openness, there was agreement, and I'm sure the partner was also able to come in and support. Do you understand? And before you know it, you're out of that trouble. So you want to be open about your debt. You might not even know that your partner has a link to somebody who can help you. Just imagine you say, okay, there's this service you render, you've not had jobs for a while, the last one you did went bad, you had to spend all your money to replace it, blah, 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 so now you're owing. And then your partner says, I had a friend who was saying that they needed this service, so can you render it for them? Oh, sure, I can. And then you bid for it, they put in a good word for you, you get a contract, you do it, and then you get money and you clear your debt. You see, you need to talk about it. These are instances where they say closed mouth is closed destiny. You don't know where your help will come from. So you need to talk about it. But the real principle there is in the openness and in the vulnerability. All right? You need to talk about it. You need to let your partner know that CRCBO everywhere, no ground, no level. This is what I'm going through right now. And naturally speaking, according to the plans on ground and considering the level of income I have, it might take me 2 years to clear this, how I'm structuring it. So you need to understand. And doing things like this will also help your partner not place unrealistic demands on you. So by the time you have explained yourself like this, I mean, somebody won't be every day saying, you did not send me this, you did not send me that, buy me this, buy me that. No, she won't be doing that. And if she's doing that, then she's a knife, not a wife material. So you need to run away from her. Let her not stab you and kill your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So actually, it's already about my time. But let me run through 6 points very quickly. The remaining 6, I've talked about 9 points. Let me talk through the remaining 6 of them. There are 15 in all, so that I just close this. Next time, I'll talk about financial red flags. All right, that'll be upper week after this next week. Okay, so you want to talk about what your financial bad habits are. Yes, you want to talk about it. Do you gamble? We want to talk about it. Do you gamble? What do you think about Bet Naija? About sports bet, about all the bet. What do you think about it? You saw sometime last year where one guy took his life because he went to play bet with 2.5 million or so that he was owing, or somebody's money was given to him for something. He went to play bet and he lost the full money and he could not, he had to go kill himself for free. Just imagine that. So you want to talk about it because there are some people who are already caught in some of these destructive behaviors, and because of how addictive these things can be, they're already trapped. You need to talk about it so your partner will know. That is not when they'll give you money to go and use to do something for the wedding, you can carry it and play bet and you will lose. Because you always lose. You always lose. You don't build a career on betting now. Records have shown people who won money through lottery and bets and lottery. You understand? Time and time again, many of them came back to poverty. Because in the words of Robert Kiyosaki, money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. In the words of the Bible, know you know that money can sprout wings and fly away? Is there in the Bible? All right, so if it's just about making money and there's no financial sense to manage your money, you will lose it. I'm not prophesying doom. I'm telling you real life. You need to build capacity for it. If you take 10 million and give to somebody with 100,000 capacity brain or financial management sense, he will reduce that 10 million. It is when it gets to 99,000 that he will not say, hey, this money will so finish. Oh, what can I do? I think I need to look for where I can buy okrika with 35,000 so that I can sell it and make 50,000. Because that is the level of his thinking. It's just a matter of time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, talk about any compulsive bad behavior you have with money. For some people, it's shopping. I must buy bag. And I remember one time I visited one lady. She was a student. As a student, the number of bags she had in her room was almost taking the entire room. And I was asking, do you get to use all these bags? He said, no, I just love bags. I'm like, wow. Oh, wow. And you're a student. So you want to talk about those things. If you're that kind of person that has this addictive behavior financially, you want to talk about it with your partner. Let them know what they're getting involved in. And let them, if need be, walk with you through the process to get out of that addictive behavior. If not, you will go broke trying to shop because shopping makes you happy. Yes, it's very good. There's also something called window shopping. Let window shopping equally make you happy. You don't have to spend the money. Just go through the things and be smiling and be happy. When you finish, you go and drink water. All right? If not, financial crisis loading in the future. Let me move on a bit faster. Point number 11, talk about retirement plans. Oh, this is very important. Do you know that those days, when you talk about retirement, what they are typically thinking about is 65, 70. That's what many people are thinking about. I mean, those days, right? In these days, we're talking retirement plans, please. Somebody is saying, I want to retire from paid employment at age 40. Somebody is saying, I want to retire from paid employment at age 35. Oh, yes. Now, that retirement does not mean that you are retiring to go and be tired of life. No, you are retiring from paid employment so that you can pay attention to your passions and deploy your gift in this life. And let me say this authoritatively to young people. Please, don't plan to work your life up to 70. You give your best years to something else, and then by the time you're done with that, you discover that you have nothing else to live for. If you're somebody with passion in your heart, I know this is a bit like a deviation. If you're someone with passion in your heart, there's something you feel like God has put you in this world to do, and you're caught up in paid employment right now. It's very good, but please, I want to encourage you, start having your exit plan while you're still agile and while you're still active. All right. Yes, it's very important so that you can have time to start deploying your God-given gifts and passions into this world and be a blessing to people. All right. While you are still at it. There are certain sacrifices that if you don't take them now, it will be more stressful to take them later. It's not when your children are already in the expensive schools. It's not when your child is already schooling abroad that you now say, I want to resign from my job. How will you pay school fees? You are stuck by then. Do you understand? So for young people, this one is for young, fresh people. Start thinking like that. Tell yourself, I want to give myself maximum 10 years in paid employment and I'm out. Some of you are saying, I never want to do paid employment. I want to set up my business. Excellent. Set up your business. Be committed to it. 5 years, 10 years. You'll be amazed at how well you will be doing. Do you understand? Some people see, let me leave that one. It's a bit sensitive. But you see some people, they are doing very well right now. You say, this person is lucky. He's not lucky. Check, he has been doing this thing for 25 years. He's been committed to it. Do you understand? How will they not be able to afford expensive hair? How will they not be able to afford business class travels? But you see small children that started yesterday, they want to travel business class and they're snapping picture. They want to buy expensive bags. They want to buy expensive hair. They want to buy the latest phone. And you just started yesterday. It's not like that. Give yourself the opportunity to grow. All right? So enough of that. So talk about retirement plans. At what age do you plan to retire? And when you retire from this, what do you want to do next? Because so long as you're alive, you're supposed to be deploying yourself to the world, the gift of yourself to the world. Oh, yes. So you want to talk about your retirement plans. At what age do you plan to retire? Talk about it. And then when you retire, what are you going to do next? Let me move on. You want to ask yourselves, what will you do if somebody just dash you 200 million now? What will you do? Basically, the question there is, if you get a major financial windfall, what are the top 5 things that will come to your mind? That's point number 12. If you get a major financial windfall now, like something just happened, there was a lottery, your office, you were part of this big project in your office and it just came through, and everyone who was a part of that project, the 6 of you who handled it, who pioneered it, worked on this tirelessly for the past 13 months, you guys are going to be rewarded with $100,000 each. If you get that money, what will you do? What will you do? What are the top 5 things that will come to your mind? You want to think through these things. You want to discuss it. Do you understand? Let me rush through the other 3 now. Oh, yes. For those in Obodo Igbo where credit systems work, you want to discuss your credit ratings. What's your credit score? How are you performing with your credits? There are people who are constantly defaulting in their credits. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your purchasing ability. It's going to affect the things you can do in that country. So you want to discuss your credit scores. I need to find ways to manage it properly. If not, by the time you guys get married, just discover that you cannot afford anything because your credit score is low. So there are needs there are things you need to attend to, but you can't access funds. You can't access credit because you've been defaulting. So you want to talk about your credit positions. It's very important. And then share how you guys can improve. Share how you can help each other. Final 2 points. One, you want to talk about your financial obligations to others, especially family members. There are some people that they are the only ones working in their family of 12. So when you receive your salary, before you finish with father and mother, one younger one has gotten admission in one school. Another younger one fell inside gutter and broke legs in the hospital. Another one went to the farm and chopped somebody's corn. Now the person has caught them in police station. You need to come and pay. Another, all manner of issues, left, right, center. You want to talk about it? All right, you want to talk about it. What are your existing financial obligations? All right, beyond the debt now, what are those things that every month, this is what you do, you're committed in your church, you give this amount to the needy. What are your existing financial obligations? You guys want to talk about it. You see, now I've given you guys so many points. Before you are done discussing some of these things, come on now, you will know whether you people are in sync, whether you're in the same page financially or not. The last one I'll talk about is your investments and money management styles. How do you manage money? All right, I talked about investments earlier, so I won't talk about it again. But your money management style, basically, how do you administer your funds when it comes in? Do you have percentages with which you share them, or do you just spend based on what is available? Do you administer funds based on the request, or do you have a plan? Do you have a structure with which you administer funds? So, for example, if something happens now and then you earn 200,000 and then something comes that is a need of 150,000, will you carry the 150 from your 200 and then you're left with 50 and then you pay tithe, you do this or you do that? Do you understand? How do you administer your funds? You want to talk about it. All right, that'll be all for today. And if you've been with us so far, thank you so much for staying up to this time. I've exceeded my time by 10 minutes, but I just thought to finish these points. I just shared about 15 areas that you guys can talk about to check your financial compatibility. All right, I'm stopping here for now.